Shukor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ka Menteri Keberipet ya ketenat kepelating ka ke Sorkar Pdeng ka Nirmala Sitharaman ha ka arpautri ubnai jiliu kalau ong baki Skhim externally aid project kidei ka benta bakong san bha ban penkala ya ka roi kapar jong ki jila jong ka than cha tela mingi kum kini ki jing thmu kin penklan ya ki kam ha ki than nong kendong kin penjana ya ka jing dei bat ki yo bat kin pen step chusho ya ka roi kapar jong ka jila Habagren makinong tho kubor, haga jingwan jungo jongka shakajila, kasitharaman, kaloong ba, hapo ki project, jan kendai po persen na kabinta jongkaram, la Siew da ka Sorkar Pdeng, katba ki jila ki Siew tang shibinta na ka jinglut. Hagani ka jingwan jungo jongka kasitharaman kalapli ru ya ka karkhana Haribhoi district, kalalet jungo ru ya ka wei kamadan nile kai kabadang Shushna thamai hajante hills, bat kalaya kendu bat kinong shna jing shna na kathan ki batre ka kam shna Q da ki do bardha ani handcrafted clay poetry ha ka jokapur mentri rangba ka jila ukonrat sangma uloong ba kathan chati la mingi kala sakhi ka jingbei tingka bat ka roi ka par ka bakhlem pat juja menu ru ha ki ne ki khar snem bala deb namar ka jing par khat jungai bala ai da ka Sorkar Pdeng hapo ka jingalam jong mentri rangba du kari Narendra Modi
coming here for this very short press briefing. As you're aware that yesterday and today there was a workshop on externally aided projects and the overall aspect of building up an institutional system around it and capacity building for states to prepare them to absorb more, at the same time share the different kind of good practices that different states have. So this was the initiative of Honorable Finance Minister, and I'm thankful to her for having organized this and having selected Shillong to be the host city and Meghalaya to be the host state. We will have this very short, as I said, press conference. If you have any questions or Madam
Honorable Chief Minister. See, the idea was that the externally aided projects have shown significant changes in these states, particularly in the northeastern states. And when we talk of externally aided projects, 90% of the loans are completely paid back by the center. The state only bears 10%, which effectively, with the land, with the other expenditures, would be about 72 to 74% for the states, and the rest is completely on the center. So it's a centrally funded. About 72 will be center's share, and the rest will be states. So it's a substantial benefit to a state, particularly in the northeast, where the center pays, as I said, close to 75% of the entire loan, and the state's burden is very limited to that extent. So it has a direct benefit in transforming the fundamental projects which are so necessary for the state, whether it is infrastructure, whether it is social infrastructure, schools or education, skilling related. So in the last at least 8 years since after COVID, we found that on the one hand, the central assistance in the name of SASCI, which is given as a 50-year interest-free borrowing to the states, or projects under the externally aided route, have both transformed the states of the northeast. But even as we found that states were benefiting, we thought that the institutional capacity and the ability to convert the projects quickly in time and then have a pipeline of projects with which you can keep going on with newer and newer things were good in some states but were limited in most states of the northeast. And therefore we wanted to have a 2-day kind of a seminar where all the chief ministers gracefully attended, and in it with the help of those multilateral development finance institutions, we'll talk about how to improve on the capacity within states and then what are the best practices that can be copied and so on. So we had this today, and I'm grateful that the Chief Minister agreed to host it. And then all others came and participated, except Manipur, which explained that they would send all their officials, but the Siew couldn't come. And Arunachal, similarly. So I'll be just attending the valedictory of the 2-day. I understand the discussions are going on very well. In the meanwhile, in the morning onwards, and yesterday before we commenced this program, I've been happy to be part of the launching of one major completed project for dealing with spices in a very, very nice and very well approved processes, which is also funded by the IFAC. And today, for instance, one of the beautiful stadiums. I was very impressed because it has that large aura about a good sports stadium, and the children and college students were all there, and the spirit was really very energetic, and that was one of the purposes I had gone to the Jaintia site and participated also with the GA tagged clay pottery, which is made without a potter's wheel but purely with the hand. I was there as well, and could interact with the community. So my visit, therefore, although centered around the workshop, also had the benefit, like the last time. I could see other beautiful parts of Meghalaya, interact with the people in that region, and so on. So that's where we are. 2-day workshop, right? When you have to get the benefit of such programs, you need executional capacity within the states. States may have it, states may not have it, states probably are building that capacity and so on. Now, with the workshop that we have had, we are trying to say if institutional capacity has to be strengthened, either to bid for the projects or get the projects once gotten, how to go about executing within the time frame and without compromising on the standards. So if states have the machinery, institutional capacities, yes, or else you need to have somebody handhold you for some time, you get these assistance. End of the day, we want the people to benefit by quality assets which can help the communities and stand out as a signature addition to the state's properties which belong to the people. So I think that is where this 2-day workshop is focused to give capacities to states.
How long
Hamper in what sense?
you are giving soaps, you are giving money, but then are you asking for accountability? Are you asking them to stand on their own feet in terms of finances?
First of all, this funding, I don't want to use the word pamper, I want every state to benefit from capital asset creation. And this was a conscious call taken by the Honorable Prime Minister that states should be given assistance, and that is why we are giving the SASKI, which is, as I said, a 50-year interest-free asset creating money for investment, capital investment. And we wanted to make sure that the fundamental infrastructure of the states are supported. This is not a recommendation of the Finance Commission at all. But because the PM was very clear that unless states are supported for capital assets, the progress will be uneven. And therefore, we wanted to do it. And I am happy to hear a journalist tell me, how long are you going to do this? We will do it as long as states have at least a basic fundamental foundation for connectivity, for support mechanisms, for social investments in terms of schools, hospitals, and other institutions which can help in training, help in skilling, common facility for marketing, and so on. So, yes, that's the answer.
I just see the history of what has happened in the Northeast. And I'll be very, very candid that if we have really seen any kind of real investment and development, it has only taken place in the last 12 years. It is only after the Honorable Prime Minister had taken charge as the Prime Minister of this country, during his period as Prime Minister, which is continuing, there was a special focus on the Northeast like never before. And that is the reason why we are seeing the kind of growth. If you look at the economic growth that's taking place in most of the Northeast, it is higher than the national average. And it's a result of the kind of focus that Honorable Prime Minister and his entire government is giving to the states in the Northeast. And if you look at it, this is the basic infrastructure investment required to be able to then take us to that level where then we can actually move forward. You also have to remember that all of these different aspects, I'll speak about both SASCI as well as EAPs. SASCI comes with reforms that you have to do. So it's not that you just do it and central government just gives the money. No, you have to achieve certain reforms and goals, and then Government of India gives you that money. In externally aided projects, these are top institutions and organizations of the world that give money to different countries. They have standards that are at international level. You just cannot get the money just because you ask for it. You have to prove that you are worth receiving that money. And hence there's a lot of capacity and work that's to be done, and that's what Madam was mentioning, that we need experts, we need expertise to come in and improve it. And that's where works of consultants are coming in. I'm really happy to know that the local people who have now started being trained and are becoming the experts who in the beginning we had brought or we had to bring from outside, almost 90% today are people from our own state. They have been trained, the capacity has been built, and now most of the people who are working in these externally aided projects, except maybe few key positions, the general mass and the overall numbers are very much local people who have now been trained and they've been brought in.
For a state like Meghalaya, it will be very difficult for me to say this or that, but because there is activity in asset creation, building people-centric, infrastructure which is going to help them to, spread their wings. Whether it is investing in concert economy, whether you're looking at sports, whether you're looking at training young people towards, some of these new age industries. All of them are contributing immensely towards Meghalaya's growth, and I think that will continue. But I'm also seeing freshness about the way in which agricultural products benefit from value addition, and they can also now be exported. And export is not because we don't want to sell it in our country, but it fetches more price, gives you foreign exchange, and therefore every one of these sectors I'm able to see a lot of buzz. The weightage given to the various factors which together, given each one different weights, together decide on the formulation. That's not unique to Northeast. That's unique to the entire country. So I don't think I'll agree with you when you say it has done this for Northeast. No, it is part of the weights given in deciding the formula, and that is common to all states in India.
मैम ये मेघालय में
मैकेनिज्म है उसको मॉनिटर करने के लिए समय समय पर बीच बीच में उनका मॉनिटरिंग होता है, और देश भर में इसी मैकेनिज्म के द्वारा ही NHAI का मेजॉरिटी प्रोजेक्ट्स का कंप्लीशन भी सक्सेसफुली हुआ है. Well, I think Meghalaya has set a pace for itself, and people are also actively participating in it. It's not just looking at major big constructions of roads or secretariats or sports arena. It is also touching the livelihoods of people. Most of the projects which are being invested in are either creating newer opportunities for them or ensuring that their products which are being made by these people are finding a global market, and also creating, I was amazed that the thought in establishing this agricultural value add products out of the agricultural products from Meghalaya. Successfully, the one which was launched yesterday in Riboy is being now taken to every block. If agriculture, particularly nature-driven, organic, fertilizer and pesticide-free products are the unique big thing about Meghalaya, to have such units which I saw yesterday for spices be established in every one of the blocks means you're taking that value addition and also market creation to every block, and every farmer producer organization is going to come in. Yesterday, if I remember.